HG needs more games. I'm gonna try to fix that, but there's a lot I have to explain, so I'm not gonna get too in depth. So when you start, you're gonna load up the BrainSteel webpage, and you'll suddenly have time traveled back to the 1990s, judging by this page. We're gonna LARP as a 12-year-old because it doesn't actually matter what age you are. The warning only serves to annoy you every time you enter the page. So now you end up at the roster screen. And you can adjust game size, adjust the roster, start a game. You probably don't want to do any of this yet until you make a code, but defaults are just fine, although some people might yell at you if you don't do that. So let's talk about codes now. To make a code, you go to the BrainSteel website, go to modify, and follow the format. Then make a game with over 1,000 events that takes over 1 million years to finish that people still won't like. But don't worry, there's only 2 genders. I don't really want to go too in detail with this. It could honestly get its own video, which I might do later, but some people would get mad if I didn't say a few things about it. You're going to want to make events that people can reply to, and instead of like making just this person got a thing or picked up the thing, you should instead give like some sort of story explanation or make it part of the win card or something. I don't know, I don't really care, you can do whatever you want. You should also make sure that you have at least 30 fatals and 60 non-fatals, or else something bad will happen. You should probably also keep it to about that ratio. Your non-fatals will show up more often. Ugh. Let's move on to actually hosting a game. So now we're back at the roster screen. Don't click Edit Cast. Maybe adjust size if you want to do something other than a 24, but then go up to the Simulate and click Personal. All you do now is open up another tab with the thread, and then copy paste everything in, and then change the genders manually. Remember, there's only 2. Look at how awful this is. Let's just talk about tools now. While you're entering tributes and you want to enter them in less than 10 minutes, or you're just incredibly lazy like me, well, there's 2 tools to get this done. There's Virginia's script, which you use a tamper monkey to install, and it kind of just runs on its own, so you don't really need much help with that. And then there's the less stable and faster option of Aikawa's host helper. I'm going to show you host helper since that's the one that breaks more, and Virginia's script is really easy to install anyway. So now that you've downloaded host helper, you do a control left click on top of your entries and fuck. So now that you've downloaded host helper, you go to that roster that you were making, and then for every male you control shift left click, and for every female you control shift right click. After you've made your roster, click generate JS, then go to the other window and go control shift K, and then paste that JavaScript into the JavaScript FIREFOX. So now nothing broke, and now you have a roster. So now let's talk about taking screenshots, since we're already talking about tools. So now you've downloaded AutoCropper, so you're going to want to open that up, and then when you just go into whatever window you're hosting in, and then once you click into it, Control plus space, and that'll take a screenshot, whether it's the reaping or a slide. Also, don't put the speed on all the way fast, or else everything will break. Well, it works on my computer. I guess now we should talk about hosting etiquette since we're done with getting the slides. Alright, time for the most important thing. Don't reply to shitposting unless you want to be known as the shitpost game host or some shit host. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm known as a shit host, so it works out for me, but you probably shouldn't. Now the next thing is that between each slide there should be about 5 or so minutes, because some people take really long to type because they're writing 5 paragraphs for every response. To keep yourself busy and productive in between each slides, you're going to want to start making commentary or making your win screen in between the slides so that it's ready by the time the game ends. That way you have a constant momentum. Someone will yell at me if I don't mention that. Just in general, be a good host. If you've promised a game, always finish it. Just don't be a dick.